Today we're going to show you a video on how to make 6 pretty easy bourbon cocktails that you need to learn and master to become a learned master. Keep watching! Welcome to Common Man Cocktails. I'm your host, Derek Schomer. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to touch on 6 cocktails, most of which I think people have heard of, but they might not have taken seriously, and other ones that might be completely new to you. There's 6 cocktails, and they don't require too much work. What you're going to need to create all 6, you're going to need bourbon, mint, sugar, club soda or seltzer water, lemons, sweet vermouth and dry vermouth, and a bit of grenadine, and then a little compari. And that's one of the drinks. You could skip it if you're not a big fan of compari, but it's in here someplace. Here. So that would be the real only other ingredient besides a couple of vermouths that you will need to complete all of these recipes. The first cocktail, the mint julep. Everybody that has any fascination with horse racing has probably heard of a mint julep. You may not have had one before. You can put them in, hold on. So this, you can use a julep cup. It's really cool. But this is what typical mint juleps are in. If you put it in a glass, nobody's going to sue you. Most of these recipes have multiple variations. Here is just one of them. Create mine because you saw it here first. I didn't invent these. These are recipes that you can find on the internet, in books, and stuff like that. The mint julep is 10 mint leaves, 1.5 teaspoons of superfine sugar, splash of seltzer water, crushed ice, 2.5 ounces of bourbon. Boom! Think of a caipirinha with bourbon. If you're like, what the heck's a caipirinha? Just think of a mint julep. What you're going to do is you're going to muddle those mint leaves with that sugar. It's going to help score into the leaf and get out some of the lovely flavors. Then you can add your club soda, you build it with your crushed ice, and then pour your bourbon on top. Good to go! Second cocktail, kind of follows the same rhythm, is called the Bourbon Smash. In this case, it's 4 mint leaves and a half lemon cut into wedges. Even more kind of like a caipirinha, which uses limes for that. But anyway, 3/4 ounce of simple syrup, 2 ounces of bourbon. Done! You've got yourself a nice citrusy, minty bourbon smash. Next on the list is the old-fashioned. One last ingredient you should always have at your bar as you're building it if you're watching our recipes is bitters. The old-fashioned is going to be 4 dashes of Angostura bitters, a teaspoon of sugar, 1 orange wheel, a maraschino cherry. A maraschino cherry. If you're making whiskey sours, use Luxardo cherries, or if you want to amp up your game, check out these Jack Rudy Cocktail & Co. Bourbon cherries. Bourbon cocktail cherries. It's like the perfect mesh. They actually have a little bit of a bourbon-y taste, and they're big old cherries, not as syrupy as the Luxardos. You can get these at awesomedrinks.com, obviously. Then you add 2 ounces of bourbon. So the full recipe, without interruption, is 4 dashes of Angostura bitters, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1 orange wheel, 1 maraschino cherry, 1 splash of club soda, 2 ounces of bourbon. That, my friends, is an old-fashioned. Throw that in an old-fashioned glass, watch our glass episode, or just use a low-ball glass and you're good to go. The next cocktail is the one I highly suggest, if any of these are something you're going to create, is the whiskey sour. 3/4 ounce of fresh lemon juice, 3/4 ounce of simple syrup, 1.5 ounces of bourbon, done. If you want to really amp up and you want to do more of a Boston sour, add egg white to that. And then when you're shaking it, you're going to get a nice, lovely, foamy head that's going to last for days. And you want to put that on there, give you a little silky smooth flavor. It's going to also pull out some of the tannins and some of the oak properties that could create astringency within your drink. The last 2 classics. If you know how to make these, people that enjoy bourbon and enjoy classic and real cocktails are going to have their minds blown when they understand that you know how to make these. It is the Boulevardier. The Boulevardier is 1.5 ounces of bourbon, 1 ounce of compari, 1 ounce of sweet vermouth, garnished with an orange slice, lemon twist, or cherry. Drop that in a martini glass and boom. This is the cocktail that brings in compari, so you're going to get a little bit more of that bitterness. You're going to get some of that sweet vermouth action. It's going to give you a chance to appreciate bourbon in a slightly different way than the fruit and the mint forward direction. And the last cocktail is the Scofflaw. This is 1.5 ounces of bourbon whiskey, 1 ounce of dried vermouth, 3/4 ounce of fresh lemon juice, 1/2 ounce of grenadine, dash of orange bitters, optional but I highly suggest, and an orange twist. For orange bitters in this case, for the Scofflaw, I would choose 3 different ones you could choose from. Well, you could choose from any of them, but 3 that I would suggest. The 3 I would suggest, no, 4. 4 that I would suggest. No, 5. 5 bitters, orange bitters that you can select from for orange bitters could be I'll go lowest to highest. The cheapest one you're going to probably find is Regan's number 5. Regan's number 6. Regan's number 6 is pretty popular. You can find it at restaurants, bars. It's hard to buy unless you go online. I sell it at awesomedrinks.com, but you may be able to find it in different places. If you want to go around the same price, if not maybe $1 more, the West Indian Orange Bitters from Fee Brothers that might be a little bit more accessible at some liquor stores. Scrappy's Orange Bitters, another great option. This kicks it up. Now you're in the $20 range. Gonna get some beautiful bitter orange. If you're Canadian or you want to support Canadian local farmers and stuff, Dillon's Orange Bitters is another great option. You're a little bit higher in price, at least in the U.S., because we have to import these things. And one of my favorites is Bitter Cube Orange Bitters. This might have been the one that won our blind orange bitter contest. I should do some more blind contests with bitters. Still, it's optional, but it adds a nice little nuance. Worst case scenario, you could just use your Ongo. That's up to you. The other thing you could always consider for pretty much all of these bourbon recipes is to substitute rye. If you have a rye or a big rye lover, you like that muskiness, you're going to find all of these cocktails play perfectly with rye. It's going to be a little bit different on the flavor, but because of how the pairings work out and the adjacencies of the different citrus compared to anything in the kind of the Kentucky bourbon and even Pennsylvania rye area, you're going to find works beautiful Canadian whiskeys as well. Pretty much even a good brown whiskey like an Irish whiskey is going to work pretty well in these. But if you're into bourbon, you're looking for bourbon, these cocktails, bourbon rye are the selection that I would start from. From here, you can expand out and get more complicated with a few additional nuances. The beauty of these 6 recipes is it accents your bourbon. So if you want to start to appreciate some of the lovely oaks, the French oaks, the white oaks, the American oaks, all the different flavors and the subtleties of the vanillas and the charred oaks and the toasted almond flavors, the toffees, stuff like that. If you want to get those notes out of it, this type of cocktail, very bourbon focused, is going to do that for you. That's it, my friends. All the recipes for these can be found below in the description, just in case you don't want to rewatch the episode again, but I highly suggest watching it at least 3 times on 3 different devices throughout your house so that you can get these all stuck in your brain. Plus, I need the views. That's it. Like, share, and subscribe. We're teaching you how to drink. Oh, hey. Did you guys know there's a little bell next to the subscribe button on all our videos and on our channel main page? If you click that bell, you can actually receive notifications every time a new episode goes live daily. But for now, just click on one of these 2 guys right here and watch those videos. It's a good time.